David Hearne. He is a researcher at the Center for Brexit Studies at Birmingham City University. David, good to have you here on the NewsHour. Let's sort of broaden the scope here a little and look at the bigger picture. With just a few weeks left, the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson continues to say, as he's done today, that he wants a deal, he'll get a deal. The question is there any real substance to that?
I think that's the real challenge. You've hit the nail on the head there. How realistic is it, given what he's proposed, that we actually come away with any kind of withdrawal agreement in place? And at the moment, his conditions with regard to getting rid of the backstop in Northern Ireland would appear to rule that out. Certainly, as far as I can see.
Boris Johnson has indicated that he'll sort of basically ignore in order to ask the European Union for an extension. We all know what he said about that. Can he actually do that?
If he tried, it would be illegal. So he would face the very real risk of being carted away and thrown in prison for breaking the law. So I think in terms of just basically completely ignoring what Parliament has bound him to do, that's not going to happen. He does have a few other strategies that he might want to employ. He might want to resign. He might, we've heard all kinds of bizarre ideas that the government might call a no confidence motion in itself. In other words, try and bring itself down. So he might try and get out of it that way. But from where I sit, it looks very, very challenging for him to get away with not extending or not asking to extend.
One final question to you. One of the more interesting things the Irish Prime Minister said was that since there is no such thing as sort of a clean break, he will not replace any legal guarantee with a promise from the UK counterpart, Boris Johnson. That really sort of puts the British Prime Minister in a corner, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. And he's absolutely right. It's very, very difficult to envisage a situation. There is no such thing as a clean break. One way or another, you're going to have to get back round the negotiating table. If you want to have some kind of free trade agreement with the EU, the first things that are going to be on the menu are the money, citizens' rights, and the border.
All right, David Hearne from the Center of Brexit Studies at Birmingham City University. Thank you for joining us here on the NewsHour.